Dear friends, welcome to this new episode of UFO Encounters in Italy. I'm glad you're here with me today as well. And tonight, I want to start this story with a question to you all. How do you sleep at night? Do you take care that the window shades are properly closed when you go to sleep, when you go to bed? Well, it may sound a silly question, but if you listen to this story, you will understand the meaning of that silly question. It's the night of October 1984, and Mr. Isidoro, who is the guardian of a nice villa north of Florence, just about 10 miles north of Florence. Mr. Isidoro, he's having his rest. He's sleeping, actually, in his double bed room. And together with him, his son, his 12-year-old son, is sleeping with him. And not his wife, because his wife is sleeping in another room with their daughter, who was sick at the time. Well, Mr. Isidoro had a long-time habit not to close the shades of the window at night. The villa is located in a hill and woods area, and so usually a very quiet place where to sleep. And Mr. Isidoro himself always told that he's always been very, a hard sleeper. Nevertheless, something that night had the power to wake him up suddenly. It was a ray of light coming directly to his eyes while he was lying in bed and coming from the window. Isidoro suddenly opened his eyes due to that ray of light, and he immediately looked through the window on the hill in front of the villa. And what he saw just for a second, just a glimpse, is this kind of figure. A massive, big, dark-shaped person, tall and very well fit, with this big sort of ray generator of lamp on his forehead. And from the forehead of this person, the ray of light started and went directly into his eyes, waking him up. Well, Isidoro, still in bed, had a first thought, and he simply had the time of thinking, oh my God, this must be a sort of illegal hunter or somebody like him, because in that period illegal hunters were quite common in that area. But he managed to think about it just for 1 second or two, and then the ray of light disappeared and everything fell in complete darkness again. Without even waking up his son, who was turned in a different position and didn't see the ray of light and was still sleeping, Mr. Isidoro woke up and walked to the window. But in that exact moment, he noticed something even more sinister and difficult to explain. Right close to the place on the hill in front of him, some hundred of meters in front of him, where that ray of light appeared and that person appeared, there was a strange sort of fire quite close to a log cabin of him. And he was anxious because he told that this bad people is trying to put on fire my cabin. But that fire was strange. It consisted of 3 different columns of light, of a sort of pinkish, orange light, a sort of flames, but flame that whose light remained firmly inside those 3 columns of light, sort of big rays of light. Everybody, all of these 3 rays starting from a common point, a sort of horizontal black line. Isidoro was amazed, because slowly those rays of light disappeared, and where that horizontal line, which the rays started from, was, it began to appear a sort of saucer-shaped device, aircraft. It was reddish, and he started lifting off and expanding rays of lights all around, while turning, turning and ray of lights, turning and ray of lights, turning and ray of lights, literally in front of him. He never opened the window. He just stared about 1 meter from the window, this incredible show. And this big machine lifted off and slowly disappeared into the darkness of the sky. Isidoro went to bed and saw the clock, and it was about 3:40 in the morning. He counted that the entire phenomena should have lasted about 10 minutes or something like that. An investigation was carried on, because the day after, Isidoro met a friend of him who was a former carabinieri man, and this person suggested him to go to the carabinieri police and inform them of what happened. A patrol came, also with some people, probably from the aviation, from the Italian Air Force, and some trace was found in that exact place close to the log cabin where Isidoro saw the columns of light. It seems like a sort of device that from the sky or from somewhere landed in that spot of ground, and the markings were quite clear. And a further investigation was carried on also with other people who saw something in those same hours. And we have different people who didn't know each other, who saw strange devices in the sky. There is a guy who was on the road with his Vespa with a friend of him. There was a woman who was the bar owner of a nearby bar, who saw about that time, about 1 hour before, something reddish flying in the sky. And there was an important witness, a couple of witnesses actually, one woman and his mother, who live about 500 meters from the villa of Mr. Isidoro. And they saw about half an hour before, they saw a big light landing close to their windows. They didn't wake up because they were scared until that strange light moved on and probably went to the hill in front of the Villa La Radicchia. There is a tale about the dog of Mr. Isidoro. Mr. Isidoro had a German Shepherd dog who was a very aggressive dog, especially with foreign people. Well, he slept at night directly in front, in a part of the garden directly in front of where the phenomenon appeared. And for about 2 weeks, that dog had completely lost his aggressive attitude. He let himself being caressed by anyone, even foreign people. The urban tale says that the dog died of hunger because he rejected the food that it was given to him. But actually that's not true, because the Italian investigator, Mr. Pierluigi Sani, who deeply investigated the case, found that the dog back to good conditions after 1 month, when he visited the witness, Mr. Isidoro, for the last time. So, what really happened that night of October? I don't know, but I think that next time I go to bed, I will take care that the shades are properly closed. I want to avoid being woken up suddenly by a ray of light from someone or from somewhere unknown. Thanks for being with me. I hope you liked this video. Your comments, critics, suggestions are always welcome. I will be glad if you want to subscribe to the channel and stay with me for many future UFO encounters in Italy.